say that this is the long-awaited planting video that I was talking about doing, but we didn't wait that long, and there's always a lot going on around everything we have happening here at Peppers for Fun. So what I want to do today is take you through what we like to use on our basic medium to start our plants in, as well as take and show you a little bit of what we have going on. So I'm going to kind of zip around in this first portion, this intro, a little bit, and you are looking at the Coco Coir bale that we're using at this time. I'm not 100% impressed with this particular brand. I've used a different brand a number of times, but this one is making do. And what you have to understand about the Coco Coir, or Coir as they call it, is that there are no nutrients in this. And so one of the things that I do after I show you how we unpack it is that I like to add the CalMag to it when I'm wetting it down to get it to expand. So I always use CalMag, follow directions on a per gallon basis, end up using about 3 to 4 gallons of water to reconstitute a bale, sometimes 5, but most often I can get away with 4. So what does that mean? Well, I take this bale, which is, as you can see, it's 11 pounds of compressed coir. I then take and put it into one of these big containers, and then in there, as you can see, it's already starting to come apart because I've soaked it with water. Once I finish soaking it with water, sometimes I'll mix it in this big pot right here with the perlite. Other times what I'll do is I take and I'll mix it in small grow bags like this. Now the consistency that we use is anywhere from 30% perlite in, and in this case it's a 50% mix, just because, as I've mentioned in the past, we like to experiment with various things. So now I'm going to take you through and just go over a quick buzz here of laying out a number of our different seeds. So here I have just some of the seeds we pulled from last year or even from years before. This is just some fun stuff that I have with the different types of scorpions that we were able to come up with, our ghost peppers. And let's see what the blue label is here. This one actually goes back to 2023, one of our original sets of ghost pepper seeds that we have. We'll take you back behind the coir here and our chocolate habanero. Now, I don't know what I did with the 2025 seeds. It happens in life, things get busy, and I misplaced those for the chocolate habanero. So we're doing chocolate habanero, and then with my yellow pepper, the Peruvian ají lemon yellow, I definitely save seeds based on the size of the peppers and productivity of the plant. And I love what I have from my 21 peppers, and we'll use some of those in our 24s. The red bell pepper that we use is just a phenomenal pepper, and that one I'm not going to be planting today. Today we're going to be doing our Rocoto, and in this case I have some seeds from 2022 that have always been great producers, some seeds from 24, and once again I don't know what I did with my 25 seeds. And then the ones that we really need a lot of are our blazing jelly beans. Again, that's a proprietary pepper that I developed out of 3 different types of peppers: the white Peruvian white habanero, the lemon habanero, and the what they call the 7-pot bubblegum. And it's interesting is that this last year we actually got some of the blazing jelly beans that were producing orange stems, like the 7-pot bubblegum, and its heat was very intensive. So that's even hotter than what we have with the other blazing jelly beans. So we'll have fun with that. And then today also what we'll go over is what we need a lot of is for our Yankee Daddle Do It hot sauce is the daddle pepper. In this case, I do have some 23 seeds. This is when we really first started growing the daddle. And then what we harvested last year in the 25 seeds. So that's a quick rundown of what we have in seeds, growing medium. And as we discussed before, we're going to go ahead and put them in these little cups. These are, I think, are 5-ounce cups. Get from Costco. I burned some holes in the bottom of them. And I pre-labeled everything so we could just go quite easily with what we do. I log everything that I do so I know what my needs are, and then I know what I'm going to be planting in each of the cups. In addition to that, you'll see that as we move the cups into the other area, that what I like to do is I'll take these other little cups and we'll put those on top to make the little domes that will then help the seeds as they germinate. So with no medium in there, guess what happens? Gravity works. So with that, we're going to go ahead and get the cameras all set up differently, and we'll come back and get started on filling cups, loading up our seeds, moistening things down. Just to let you know, I like to put my water in gallon jugs that already has the CalMag in that jug. So in this case, I have about 2.5 milliliters of CalMag in that gallon of water, and we'll use that to wet down our medium and just get going. But that's a basic layout, and from that point I'll have things set up and show you what we do and have fun with. All right, see you in a minute. Here we are with our first setup, and a lot of times what I already did was I took the liberty of putting the grow medium in there, so you can see one has it's a little bit more fibrous. So it all just really depends on how everything gets mixed up. So I always like to take and first wet these down a little bit. So I will take the water in the jug, and I use these tin trays a lot. They're cheap at Costco. Just get some water flowing through there. You can see it just gets moving right along. Simple stuff. This is planting seeds, and that is not rocket science, as you well know, but people keep asking, well, Tom, how do you start your seeds? How do you do this? How do you do that? Well, so I'm just helping out on what we do. So first ones that are going in, this will be the Blazing Jelly Bean 2024. So I'll get my seeds here. We're only going to do 5 per cup is what I intend to do. And with these guys being as small as they are, a lot of times I'll take and just open to a new page in the book, and weren't all totally set up for that. So we'll come over. I use my little cute tweezers there as well. I'll get a few seeds out here so I'm not springing them. What I learned is these gloves, they become very springy. So when I try and put a seed in there, they'll go boing, go flying off. So at that point, it's smarter just to take and put a few seeds off to the side. Go ahead and just pick them up, put them in there, a couple different places. And we'll do it just like that, as they say. And with peppers, as most people already know, you don't have to go any more than really 1/8 of an inch for them to begin to germinate. So a lot of times what I'll do is I'll just get them at that point, I think you can see them in there. And then I just take one of these little skewers, kind of push them down in a little bit. A lot of times if I'm going to be doing some other types of seeds, I'll just take and put them in, a whole bunch of them in there. Sometimes I put 8, sometimes I put 10. And then just to make sure they're covered up, I'll go ahead and, not in the camera very well, but I just cover. I'm still learning how to do these videos, so I'll just do that, put a light pressure on them, and call it good. Get my spray bottle, which has some of the water with the CalMag. Just give it an additional spray, and it's about time for a new one. You go through a couple seasons, you go through a lot of spray bottles, as you well know. So anyway, we get that all just wet down a little bit more, and then we'll transfer these later temporarily. What I will do is I will put these in a cup like this, and then take one, as I was showing you earlier, and actually put it on top like that. And then we'll transfer it into the grow room on the heat pad, as well as under a light. So we'll do that after we get everything planted here. Then I'll take you over there. We'll work on that. Now we do have a lot of seeds left. Some people ask me, oh, can we buy the seeds for the Blazing Jelly Bean from you? No, I'm sorry. That's really proprietary to what we do for the Blazing Blue Java hot sauce. So that one, that's just something we have fun with. I know I should be willing to share, but I'm really not. Sorry about that. But we do, some people have been asking for other seeds. The Rakoto, the daddle. Now the daddle, we're very successful with the daddle up here in Northeast Ohio. People are always asking, well, how can that be? How are you growing? Those only grow down in Georgia, St. Augustine, areas like that. And I'm going, well, I guess it's a matter of working the soil combination, and then after that, it's a matter of taking and developing how I fertilize and maintain everything that way. And this one's popping off all over the place here. It's like tiddlywinks. You ever play tiddlywinks? I don't know if kids still do that or not. When I was a kid, that was something that we all did. And we'll put that one there. And just for what the hoot, I'll throw another one in. All right, so now we get back under the camera here. This one with a little bit more fiber is going to be more fun to get those seeds down in there. As you can see, they don't want to hide as easily. Just try and get them down the best I can. And that's why a lot of times I'll actually, say I'll do a count. This one's off to the edge, so we'll watch and see how they come up. They usually take, oh gosh, sometimes these take several weeks to come up, sometimes days. It all depends. Some cases, in this case, I'm going to take in one of the others and grab just a titch more of the lighter stuff to put on top, and then I'll moisten it down some more with the get back in the framing, and moisten it down a little bit more with the water mixture. So once again, not rocket science, but it does take that time. It takes the get things set up to do. And again, I'll grab two of these other, I think these are like 3.5, I think you can see on the bottom. They're the 3.5 ounce little cup. These things have served, obviously, based on their coloration, have served me well for years. And I just take and cap it over like that, and we'll put it off to the side. All right, let's see. We get some Rakoto going. This one here is we're going to do the 2022 Rakoto first. Where are you? The Rakoto, I love the Rakoto pepper. I don't know how many of you have ever had it before. It varies. Some people say it registers down around 80,000 Scoville to 100 some thousand. I can tell you that our Rakotos are hot. They're right up there at the lower end of the I would say, of your habaneros. So, but what I love about the Rakoto is just the grassiness of it, just the flavoring, and that's why it's so perfect in our Rakoto. Actually, it's with the garlic dill Rakoto Rush, and that one is we work together with Mr. Chris Pickle. These guys are such that I'll just drop in about 5 of them or so right in there, and that'll work. And with that garlic dill Rakoto Rush, they're just a nice pepper that just works with the garlic dill pickle so well. I gotta remember where I put, there it is. Sometimes I move things around, you know how it goes. So we'll move things around here a little bit better. We can see those guys are right at the top. Just kind of mix them down in there a little bit. Now, what did I do with this one? I didn't take and wet it down first. If you recall, what I did before was wet them down. So now that I don't want to flood all that out, we'll just have to spray the daylights out of that. And one of the nice things about the holes in the bottom, so I like the holes in the bottoms of these cups. For the big reason is that in that other little cup, I can put water in there, and that will soak up and actually keep everything nice and moist. So when I do water, a lot of times, even in taking and getting the seeds to germinate, I will bottom water. So I'll bottom water just so that we have moisture that rises up, and we'll do that with the Rakotos, because I'm going to just continue to do the same thing. With the Rakotos, we'll take and we'll bottom up on it. So we'll do the other is the 2024 Rakoto, which there they are here. And because I have it in these little envelopes, they become a little more difficult to get out. But I'm going to show you what happens with these gloves. If you don't get it just right, man, those things will just spring right out. And there. That's about 5. So let's see, where are we? All right, there we go. There's about 1. There's 2. There's another one over here. 5. Stick one in the middle. Get the stick this time. Bring it up. I like using the flat end. Kind of push them down in there a little bit. Get it in. Don't have to go too far. Take the old finger and make sure down where we want to be. One of these days I'll get all the camera stuff all figured out too. But it's good for beginning and learning. Everything's a learning experience. I know that for sure. Every year's new, and every year's a whole different learning experience. And what we're doing when we're starting our peppers, as well as uh, developing everything else that we develop out on the property. Let's see, this one I am going to take and step over and just grab a little bit more of the grow medium to put on top. All right. So I just put a little bit more of the dry stuff there on top. And we'll just grab a couple of these guys again. Put that like that. And actually I'm going to use that one on the bottom. Put this one on top. Like that. And put that one over there. Okay, now we'll go back for the daddles. And we'll get these wet down with the medium out of the jug. Just like that. Let it soak down in there a little bit. Put that guy up out of the way. All right, now our daddles. Here's the 2025 large ones. Oh. And what was really interesting is that in the grow tunnel, so we did a number of different things with the daddle. As I've shown you, we already have some daddles growing and are doing really well. We'll go take a look at those real quick too in the grow room. And they produce. They're not super big, but we took some out when we did started taking and getting the peppers going in like we are now, and then we took them out to the high tunnel and fed them well, put them in the right spot in the high tunnel. They just took off, and for some reason we ended up with a really nice strain of these guys that were really large, and I was very, very happy with them. Let's see, that's got to be 3, 4, 5, one more. There we go. And that's the seeds I saved. So I pick on size, I pick on flavor. So we have that, those are the ways that I choose at the end of the year what I'm going to save for seeds. Got them all in there, except for 2. All right. So those guys are done. And these 2, you know what? Just throw them in there for good measure. Don't let good things go to waste, right? So now what we'll do is, once again, we just push them down in there a little bit. Get them. It's fun. What's nice is that I like starting them this way, and then later we separate them out, and I think I showed you a video of doing that and taking and transplanting them into our double cup method. I really like the double cup method. I got the whole idea. I know that there's other people that do it, but if you want to really observe I call him the king of pepper growing, is King Star. His channel is there on YouTube. He's been around for, I don't know, a good number of years. I learned a lot from him, and I would highly recommend that if that's where your interest lies and you want to pick up some other tips, that he's a guy to go watch, because you'll learn a lot, especially on the hydroponic side. He does a lot of things with hydroponics, as well as what he does with, once he gets them out into the plants and harvesting, and how he does a number of his types of growing. Now these are going to be the 2023 daddles, which once again we had great success with. And so we'll get a few of these seeds, see if I can keep them from springing in my hand. It's always a challenge, but There's 3. There we go. All right. We'll just fly with whatever ended up there. And I never can tell where I sit in the camera frame. But we have another podcast that I've done for a good number of years, and that one I set up, it has a whole studio with a green screen and mixer and all the other technology. But doing freestyle like this is new to me in so many different ways. But hey, that's what it is for everybody. You take and you learn from it and you make progress. So that's what we're hoping. We're hoping that you will enjoy what I'm doing as well, and that we will take and continue to see you in the next room as we move over there and put these on the heating pad and on under the lights. So with that, and a couple squirts, we'll see you in the other room in a few minutes. Well, here we are now in the grow room, and what I did was take and have the heating pad here, and then in a tray, and inside that tray I put the everything we're trying to grow, and we'll see how it does. I showed you the lighting setup in here in the general tour. We will be getting a whole lot more of these tray setups going. Today I'll get some more seeds going in, as well as over the course of the next week or so we'll be adding more. Now, just as a quick update, we have all of our guys going in the double cup over there, but what is exciting to see are those tomatoes. Now that we have them going in that hydroponic, we were able to salvage those 2 guys, and they are really doing very, very well, and pretty excited about how they're going to be ready probably in another week to look like this. And this guy is really in that couple foot range, doing real nice. Has a number of little buds in there, and we're really pleased with all of that. So we will see how this all goes, and why the lighting changed on me, I have no idea. So we will catch you later. And oh yeah, these are the daddles, and they're doing really well also. So I'll leave you back over here as we kind of spin back around, and our little guy here has a number of different peppers on it as well. Those are the Ahi Lemon Yellow. Finish off with these guys, and hey, thanks for dropping in. As I always say, this is do-it-yourself, which we've been doing for 8 years. I've gone through all sort of different methods, the tray, the this, the that, the cups and bags, and you name it. But this is the most productive way that we have found to go ahead and get our seeds to germinate. All right, catch you when these guys start popping. Bye.